40 minutes of setup time. Oh, hi everyone! Welcome to the stream. That's my intro.
Oh, good. All right.
Also, I'm
So,
eating a hamburger, so I'm gonna mute my mic for a second
okay.
while you talk.
Okay. So, Vanya, I know you left early last time and you didn't get to see the end. What was the last thing you remember happening? You guys were fighting the giant mound, right?
No, I remember last time that it was a little bit after Gee almost sacrificed Peppy.
Yeah, so Biggie, you guys were in the giant water room with the altar, and Biggie and Zoe were both on top of the altar, and Biggie was about to sacrifice Peppy to the evil altar. And then Zoe stepped off the altar. And do you remember what happened then? Were you playing when that happened?
Yeah, then they tried to like kill him or whatever.
Yeah. So he stepped off the altar, and that angered the cultists, which made a giant trash monster rise up, a trash and vine monster, and it started attacking you guys. And it almost killed Erevan. It almost killed Biggie. It tried to kill Peppy, but it kept missing. And everyone ended up defeating it. Your character saved pretty much everyone several times with your heals. Like, they were down and almost dead, and your character ran up and healed them and saved their life, like, several times. Like, if you weren't there, they would have all been dead. And so that's what happened. And then you guys finished up down there. You looted the room. There was no treasure to be found. And you started to leave the house, got up to the next. I don't remember who it was. I think it was Biggie realized that Vladimir was still trapped in the room that you guys left him in on the second floor. And so Biggie and Vanya both charged through the smoke to go save Vladimir. And as they were walking through the smoke, Biggie discovered that there was a giant spinning blade trap in the door, and he had to jump through it, and he told Vanya that it's too dangerous. He told Vanya to go back to the party and help them get through. Biggie, like, charged through the house all the way down to where Vladimir was. He had to go through, like, 2 other blade traps, got to Vladimir, and he found that Vladimir had jumped out the door through the spinning blade trap and saved himself, and he was sitting outside just, like, fine. Biggie lowered him down to the ground outside of the house with a rope, and so those both characters were safe. Then the rest of the party was trapped inside the house trying to get out. So Erevan, Zoe, and Vanya were all stuck in the house.
Oh no!
Oh yeah! So they were trying to figure out how to get out, and they're like, "Oh no, what do we do?" They went through the trap door, and the trap door was only like 1 room away, but it was covered in smoke, and there was blade traps everywhere. And so what Zoe did is he ran to the wall and kicked it down and shattered the wall in half, which let you guys get straight out. But a swarm of rats came out of the wall and started attacking him. So he ran past the swarm of rats and got its attention as the rest of you fled the house, and then the doors slammed shut behind it and locked. And so you guys saved the children, put the children to rest, defeated the evil at the bottom of the basement, and escaped the death house with everyone alive, including Vladimir and Pep. So that's what you missed, the climax of the dungeon. I'm sorry, but that recap was pretty much what happened. So it was about midnight, 12:30 at night. So it's a good thing you went to bed, because you would have fallen asleep at some point.
Did you mention the part where I busted out through the wall? Sorry, I had my headset off for a second.
Yep, I said that part. That was, you basically saved everyone by knocking through the wall and then heroically running through the swarm of rats, getting its attention.
Okay, cool. I'm sorry. I'd taken my headset off for a moment.
Yeah, you're like, I just want to make sure.
I want to make sure because it was so awesome.
Yep, no, that was between that and Biggie going through the blade traps were the two climaxes of the whole thing, I think. But it could have been anyone. Oh yeah, Erevan, because they decided to go back into the tomb that you guys never explored. They opened it up, and it was a swarm of centipedes. and the centipedes poisoned Ereven, and you know, Vanya did do something really cool. Ereven was poisoned and couldn't wake up for an hour, and so Vanya casted cleanse poison on him so that he could wake up, and then she healed him so he could get up all the way. So she actually helped revive Ereven, so he wasn't unconscious the whole time. So yeah, everyone did a really cool thing right at the end. You guys escaped the house, and you're all very, very beaten up and out of resources and everything. And it was already dark out when you got out. The mist is all gone that you guys can see. I mean, it's still like foggy and stuff, but the mist that was forcing you guys inside is gone. So you decided to find an empty house that's not the death house and take a long rest. So the last thing that happened was everyone crowded into a little shack and took a long rest. And when you guys walked out of the house, you leveled up to level 3. You defeated the house. You, Vanya, do not really gain a whole lot for leveling up. You did gain 1 additional spell. Did Big E tell you what that spell was, or did you talk to him about it?
I gave her a recap, but Vanya, actually, can you go to your spells real quick? And I'm going to tell you which ones to fill in.
Let me go to them.
The only thing she doesn't have is her spell list.
Okay.
Like, it's just not like, you know, like all the spells are written down, but I just didn't fill in the bubbles.
Filled in spiritual weapon and one.
Okay, so, well, now I don't remember the spells I actually saying.
I have the spells that you told me.
Okay, so the first 2 spells, the Burning Hands and Fairy Fire, leave those. Okay. Can you remind me what the spells are, Jake?
Healing Word.
Okay, so erase Cure Wounds and circle in Healing. Don't erase it, just erase the bubble. And bubble in Healing Word instead.
And then Guiding Bolt, Detect Evil, Bless.
Okay, Guiding Bolt and Detect Evil, you already have those, right? Circled in?
Yes.
Okay. Look over to the right and circle in Bless.
Okay.
Okay. What's the next one?
Spiritual Weapon and
Okay. So just do... Okay, so, what else do you have circled in?
Flaming Fear.
Yep.
Fortune
It's fine.
Ray.
Yep.
Yeah,
Aid.
leave that.
Spiritual Weapon. Burning Hands. Fairy Fire. Healing Word. Shield of Faith. Detect
Erase
Evil
that.
/ Good. Detect Evil Good.
Leave evil, Detect Evil Good, because I don't trust Jake. And erase Shield of Faith. Shield of Faith is concentration, so I decided to only have 1 concentration spell.
I also have Command, Guiding, and Guiding Bolt.
Okay, erase Command.
Okay.
And then circle Bless if you haven't already.
Already.
So now you should have a total of 10 circles filled in. 4 at level 2.
I have 8 filled in. Oh, never mind. No,
yep.
you got 10.
Yeah, sorry,
Okay.
they're kind of spread out. All right, so she's got all her spells.
Okay.
Oh, I've got mine. Do you want to know what they are?
I've already got them written down. I'll read them and you can confirm.
Yeah, just in case.
Sorry. Prepared. No, I don't have your prepared spells. You can read them off.
Okay.
You get 6.
So 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh geez. Okay, Chromatic Orb, Mage Armor, Protection from Evil and Good, Absorb Elements, and then I'm just taking both of my new level 2 spells because I like them. So Tasha's Mind Whip and Misty Step.
Okay, so you don't have Thunderwave, and the rest are all rituals, so that works.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, you guys, you take your rest, and everyone heals up, and...
Speaking of the
I
rest,
take my armor off.
What, Zach?
I take my armor off before the rest.
I'm not playing with those rules, but yeah, okay, sure.
And I put it on. Well, maybe I just wanted to get naked, and then I put it on afterwards.
And then what you were saying, Biggie?
Okay. Remember, well, Zach too, but especially the girls, because I missed a couple things. I updated their sheets, but I didn't long rest them. So your hit points should be max. Your hit dice, make sure you're at max. So it should say total...
Nope,
3
or
D,
2.
But we're level 3 now, so we get 3 hit dice, right?
You were all at 0. You gained 1 for leveling up, and then you gained half of your current rounded down.
Okay,
so 0
guys,
plus 1 plus 1.
For total, it should say 3D whatever. I think it's 8. And then for underneath that, it should say 2D8. Is that right, Jake?
Yeah, Erevan and Vanya are both D8, so yeah, that's correct.
Oh, no, yeah, I think that's right. Okay, so we each have 3 total, and right now you only have 2. So if you have some left on your next long rest, we'll gain 1 more. So
yeah.
Also on your spells, make sure you erase the little spell marks. And the last thing, on your character sheet with your little channel divinity and stuff, make sure that those circles are not don't have a line through them. If they do, erase it and redraw the circle. I just need to figure out some really amazing sheet system, since character sheets just don't work.
I've got a Google Sheet system that works pretty well.
That's what I use for all my characters, or a variation of it.
Pretty sweet. You can track your spell slots, track your HP, it all auto-calculates.
No, I like paper.
I mean, you just said.
How many times have we lost our paper character sheets?
Well, it doesn't matter.
I like paper.
I keep track of everything on the computer, and so nothing will be out of place. And if it is out of place, then it's the DM's fault.
Well, I can think of times when Nick was getting set up for a game, or you, or whatever, and he goes, "Oh, there's our character sheets from that game 1.5 years ago. I wondered where I put them."
That was one of the big reasons we would stop playing for months at a time, because we'd be like, okay, we haven't played for a couple weeks, let's play again. Oh, where's the character sheets? Well, let's just start over. Okay, so you guys have rested, you've healed up and gotten your spell slots, and got prepared your spells and everything like that, and you guys take a rest. What is your watch? Are you guys doing any sort of watch? So yeah, you check out some abandoned homes, and you found a small shack. It's about 20 feet square. It has boarded up windows and a door that's just barely hanging off the edges, but if you lift it up and push it in or pull it in, it can shut. And it's just a single room with a hard packed dirt floor, a couple pieces of broken furniture, nothing fantastic. Those of you that have bedrolls can lay them out and rest in your nice comfy bed. Those of you that without bedrolls, you just kind of curl up in a corner and hope the bugs don't get you. And it's about 9 o'clock at night right now, so it's not too. I mean, you guys slept and woke up in the house, so it's just been since you've been traveling, so it's just after dusk. But if you guys rest for 8 hours, you should wake up right before dawn. Or you can keep resting however long you want, but 8 hours minimum. So if you guys would like to select a watch, I think you did basically the 2 elves, and then everyone else just sleeps, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
Okay. Everyone can go ahead and pull
elves? Up. That's me and Erevan, right? 2 full elves?
Yeah, because you guys can both meditate, and so 4 hours, that's a full watch.
Okay, I'll take the first watch, and then you can take the next one, Erevan.
And all right, Biggie.
So I sit there, and I have my knees up, and I just kind of sit there relaxing. And Peppy is like kind of climbing on my knees and stuff, and I tickle his chin and play with him, and I'm just just sitting there keeping watch. No, just sit there, just staring off in the distance.
All right. So you are staring out. So the house door shuts all the way. The windows that are boarded up. Is everyone in table plot, by the way?
I just realized I'm not. I'm getting on now.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah,
go ahead and
probably
join.
good idea.
It's not going to be super important, but I did upload some maps just to give a little bit of indication of how things are and stuff. Plus, you never know if combat happens. It'd be good to have. We will have at some point Theater of the Mind combat, so it's not going to all be on a grid. But with table plot, I'd like to use the grid as much as we can because it's really cool. So if I prep something in advance, I'll use the grid.
I have some of that coming in my game later too. Theater of the Mind stuff, battles.
Everyone who's in, move your character out of the house just so I can see that you're in. Just a little bit so I can still move it back in. I just want to make sure everyone's here.
I don't have control of my character.
Oh,
I don't have
that's a
control
good-
of anyone.
That's a good reason that I asked then. That one. Try now. Okay. So does everyone see Vladimir's new icon?
Yeah.
Yeah. I uploaded.
Yes, I
it.
love it.
Peppy also has a new icon, but you'll find that out shortly. Let me know, Zoe and Biggie, once y'all are in table plot.
I'm in.
And I'm also in. And it's on my stream.
So you guys are in this little, 25 by 20 foot house. There's a door at the very front, and there's a single window on the side that basically stares into an alley and then another house. If you look at the main map, which I'm going to snap you to now, it is this house right here. So it's just a little house right off the road, right towards the entrance of the place. Basically just the first house you came across where the doors weren't completely locked, and you could get in safely. We'll snap back here. So you guys are resting in there. Big E said he'll take the first watch. What are you watching? Where are you sitting? What are you doing? How's that look? Everyone else, I'm assuming you're just like, I know, sleeping, finding a nice place. You can put your character wherever you want.
So, since there's a window, I'm gonna kind of like brace the door, as much as I can, and then I'm gonna look out the window.
Okay. So there's a window.
Lights are off. I have all the lights off in here, and I'm using minor illusion to illusion the windows, so if someone looks in, they just see an empty room.
Okay. So you're looking out the window. It is boarded up. You can kind of see through the cracks of it, so it kind of already has that effect of it's really hard for someone to see in, but you can see out. Did you want to leave? Are you leaving the boards on, or would you like to remove them completely? Or
can I see out in front of me? I want them covered as much as possible, so I can see out.
You can see, illusion or not, you can see clearly out. The top, this direction is the street, so the street's running parallel like this. So if you look out the window, you can see, like this angle towards the street. And no one can see straight into your window, but you're peeking out like through the cracks.
Okay, looks good.
Okay, all right. So the door is wedged shut, and you're peeking out, watching the window. It's about 9 o'clock, and you guys are resting. Everyone else is asleep. I'm assuming Aravin's doing his meditation, but everyone else is asleep. Vladimir is just kind of chilling. He found a little soft patch of dirt, and he's doing that little horse laying down thing. Anyone else doing anything specific before we continue with the rest?
I just find a corner and I plop down in it, and I'm ready for bed.
All right. As far as bed rolls go, everyone except for Zoe has one. So I'm guessing maybe, I guess Big E doesn't really need to sleep. You guys only have 3 people sleeping at a time, so I guess if you guys want to share a bedroll, it's not a big deal, but
I mean, it would be nice, but I'm a battle hardened warrior. I'm used to sleeping on the ground.
Would you
I
like to share
offer-
your bedroll with Zoe?
Biggie wants to offer his bedroll to Zoe, but it's like his bedroll is one tattered, smelly blanket.
I don't want his
like
bedroll. I don't. It should be gross.
it's like the one he used to bring over to our house. Like
Oh,
he hasn't
God.
washed it since his childhood, and it and then he's got one pillow, no case, totally flat, and it's like yellowish brown.
Naturally.
Yeah,
Uh,
he's like, oh,
and it's
hey,
all
would you like to borrow my bedroll?
No, thank you.
all right. So
Oh, okay.
so he curls up in a corner, and you leave your bedroll for yourself, and so you're all resting. And night falls. Night's already fallen. It's 9:00, and you guys sit there for a couple of hours. The first few hours are really boring. You hear the wind howling outside, rustling the few trees that are in the town. Windows and doors knock open and shut throughout the town. You hear them off in the distance. There's little drizzles of rain that are coming and going every so often. Like every 30 minutes, it'll drizzle for 5 minutes or just a little bit. But at the end of the third hour, so you guys have been resting for 3 hours now, you hear a procession of soft footsteps in the distance, and they are padding towards you. Like a bunch of footsteps.
While Biggie is keeping watch.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, Peppy. What could this be? How many hours has it been?
You have been resting for 3 hours. It's almost exactly midnight.
If I wake up Aravan,
if you interrupt his meditation,
does he have to start over?
I don't think so. I don't think it has to be 4 hours of uninterrupted meditation.
Because I kind of want to let everyone sleep,
Might not be a bad idea.
They're tired. We've had a hard day.
Up to you.
For now, I'm gonna watch.
Okay. Where are you watching? What are you doing?
Can I see them from this window?
You don't see anything right now, but they are coming from this direction. So you think that as they get closer, you might see them, but you will not see them approach until they are too close. Looking out the window.
Okay. Well, my only other option is this door, right?
Yep, and the door conveniently opens clockwise, so you can see out this way if you peek out the door.
Okay, I want to peek out the door and try to get a better look, and I want to keep an eye on them, and I want to, basically, if it's a danger, or if I need to wake everyone up, then I want to do that, that's what I'm watching for.
Okay, so you crack open the door just a little bit, just enough that it looks like it might be just hanging off its hinges, and you got just one eye out, and you're looking down the dark, unlit alleyways of the city, and through the cracks of the door, you see an army of several dozen humanoid creatures parading through the streets, and they're just now turning down the street that you guys are on. They are shimmering, wavering green images of dowdy women toting great swords, woodwise men with slender bows, dwarves with glittering axes, and archaically dressed mages with beards and strange pointed hats. All of these and more march through the streets, their numbers growing by the second. They march unerringly towards some goal and completely ignore your presence as they approach.
Well, I've had my sleep interrupted quite a few many times, so I highly regard the sleep of others. So since these things are gonna be, looks like they're marching by us, I'm gonna go ahead and let everyone continue to peacefully sleep.
All right. Do you continue watching them, or do you peek out the window? They're marching past you now, so you can't see where they're going unless you wanted to switch over to the window.
Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of switch over to the window now and watch them and keep an eye on them until they're out of sight, or see where they go. If they don't go out of sight.
All right. You switch quickly, run over and peek out the window, and you can just barely see like towards the gates of the town. And as their numbers grow, they slowly fade into the distance as they walk and march towards the gates of town. And then the footsteps grow quieter and quieter, and eventually grow completely silent.
Towards the gates of town, like the place
Like
where we came.
leaving town. They came from inside the town, and they were marching towards the exit of town.
Is the exit of town back the way we came or forward?
Back the way you came.
Okay. That was pretty cool. That was pretty weird.
Yep.
And I'm gonna wait for Araven to finish meditating at 4 hours, and then
All right.
I'm gonna tell him what happened.
All right. An hour later.
Trance.
Trance. But trancing is is meditation. When you trance, you meditate for 4 hours, so it's the same thing. But the ability is called trance.
You meditate to achieve a trance.
Exactly. So, another hour passes, and Araven's trance is now presumably over. If you wanted to pass the information on to him, and then he can move on, you can rest.
Yeah, so I'm gonna kind of nudge him and say, "Hey, Araven, time to wakey, eggs and bakey." Because of course he says that. And he's gonna say, "Oh, it's time for your watch. I'm getting tired. I need to go to trance. These Dr. Peppers aren't doing it for me anymore. I gotta meditate and get into my trance. Oh, by the way, I saw
that's not meditation. Another word.
What?
Nothing. Go on. I'm sorry.
He's gonna say, oh, by the way, just to let you know, I saw like this giant army of green shimmering ghosts march through the city. Yeah, it was pretty weird. Anyway, yeah, so just keep an eye out for anything like that, I guess. And then he's gonna curl up in the corner over here next to Vladimir with Peppy. He's gonna be like, yep. Oh, if something's about to kill us, wake me up. Or don't. Whatever.
True McGee fashion. All right.
I think that's nothing. It didn't come towards us, so it's like I'm not just gonna wait. I mean, long rests are important. I want everyone to get their spell slots back, and it passed by okay. So yeah, I just kind of tell everyone, hey, there was this giant creepy ghost army. You know.
I just meant that if something's gonna come kill us, tell me, or don't. You know, whatever's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
So okay, so yep, he passed that information on to you, and Araven, you take up the watch. And how would you like to be watching? There's a door you can peek out, there's a window you can peek out, or you can just sit there and listen in silence and see if you can hear anything.
I'd like to kind of look out, but I'll listen for the door or any footsteps nearby.
All right. So where are you at? Your character?
By
there.
The window.
Okay, you're just kind of like peeking out. Okay. So your rest, the first couple of hours of your watch, is also uneventful. You hear the kind of the same things, the wind and the rain. You don't see any ghosts or anything, but as you're kind of listening and looking out the window, you hear a noise off in the corner on the other end of the room, and you hear this noise, and it kind of like grabs your attention, but it's such a what do you call it? Like, it's such an irritating, grating noise, like nails on a chalkboard. That
oh, sorry, I farted.
Yeah, that happens, and then 30 minutes later, everyone hears this noise and wakes up. Not to the point where it's like interrupting your rest. You can actually do other things during a rest. You don't have to sleep for 8 hours straight. But you all hear this noise before Araven can even warn you. It's not something that is like that you're able to sleep through. It's this. You hear the sound of bone cracking, flesh tearing, and this anguished groans of like, "Argh!" And you look over into the corner, and you see Peppy laying on the floor, and he's like flopping around on the ground, like his arms are flopping back and forth.
Peppy, no.
On the ground underneath him, you see just piles of scales that he's shed. His tail is completely severed from his body, and it's like doing that thing where it's like flopping around. Peppy's body it looks like misshapen, disgusting. His scaleless skin is covered in down feathers, just like mottled around like little patches. His legs have grown longer and are like cracking and breaking.
Oh no, little guy! Oh no!
You watch him lying on the ground and writhing in agony, going ah, and his arms melt away, and they just like melt into the ground and like back into his body, and then long bony appendages erupt from his torso, and they start to stretch and bend and contort and branch out, and then as soon as they do, they're quickly covered by a web of flesh that crawls across them, and then little tiny feathers start to sprout from him. His mouth grows and stretches longer and wider, and it puffs up and gets really hard and like pointed. His legs keep stretching further and further and further, and each of his toes grow longer, and large black claws poke through the tips of his toes. And then suddenly there's a huge and there's smoke, green smoke, and feathers that fly everywhere. And as the smoke clears,
Green
Peppy
smoke.
is gone. Green smoke. As the smoke clears, Peppy is gone, but in his place is standing a tiny owl, no bigger than your outstretched hand, like from the tip of your thumb to your finger. And it just sits there. None of the other evidence is on the ground. It's completely clear. It's just this owl. And it looks around at you, cocks its head, and then it sticks its tongue out of its mouth, and it's a long, sticky lizard tongue, and it licks its own eyeball and then pulls it back into its mouth. And it just looks around at everyone.
Peppy, what happened to you? And I hold out my finger for him to step up.
He hops up on your finger.
I hold him up and I go, "Oh, Peppy, you're so pretty. Oh, look at all your feathers. Wow. Look at your big eyes. You're so cool.
It hoots
I'm
at
gonna call you Hootie. No, that's pretty bad.
No.
Too late, canon.
Peppy won't do anymore. I'm gonna come up with a new name for you. No, it doesn't even hoot. It's an elf owl.
It hoots.
No. No, not Hootie. Oh, hey, girls. Do you have any ideas for the owl's name?
Just keep it Peppy.
Owl-icious, like,
No.
My Little Pony?
Archimedes? No. How do I change him? Yeah, Archimedes. Yeah.
Or you could just call
Archimedes.
it Owl. Like, I'll figure out a name later on, and then you never do. You tell them once in a while, I swear I'll come up with a name, Owl.
Vladimir wakes up. He hears all the commotion. He looks down at oh yeah, his icon is a real life owl here. I'll make it bigger.
Owl.
It's so cute.
Elf owl.
Yeah, we see just a little tiny one. You just have to imagine.
You guys,
okay.
elf owls are like, they live in Texas, and they're basically like a little bigger than Dusty. And they're owls, and they're so cute, and they live in the desert, and they live in holes in cactuses, and they eat like
latent magic of the house was still running through his body since he was summoned in there, and his the will of his master, who wished he didn't summon a lizard, changed his form on the spot. You can change the form of your familiar by recasting it, but this is easier and creepier. So, yep, he's an owl now. I guess everyone just going back to sleep and like, okay, that was gross. I'm gonna go back to sleep.
We all woke up?
Yeah, everyone woke up when that happened.
Oh, okay.
It was.
I go back to sleep.
he like doesn't even wait for the transformation to finish. He's like, what is that
I don't
noise?
even care.
Covers his head with some dirt.
Oh, it's
God damn it! You guys woke me up. I'll kill you.
What, Nick?
Oh, it's just Biggies. Just Big E's pet. You see Big E crouching over an animal and like flesh and like feathers and scales just flying everywhere, and Big E's like, no, my friend, no, what is happening? And you're like, go back to sleep.
Basically. So yeah, Erevan, you continue keeping watch. Nothing else horrifying happens during the night. There's no more ghost processions or anything like that. And the sun has not quite risen yet, but you do see the faint hints of dawn on the horizon. The little speckles of light, dong, D-O-N-G. The faint hints of dong on the horizon. Like before the sun, like an hour before the sun comes up, how the sky just starts lighting up. So yeah, it's like 5 or 6 in the morning, and the sun's rising, and you guys have rested for 8 hours. You are free to do whatever you'd like. If you'd like to stay here for longer, you can, but your long rest is over. You have healed up, rested, and regained your spell slots. And go.
Okay. Well, first of all, I gotta wake everyone up. Wake up!
I don't wake up.
Vladimir wakes up and stands up.
Instead of like meditating like an elf, I'm curled up in the corner and I have my blanket crunched up around like squished up around my face, and my head's in my dirty gross pillow, and I'm just laying there, and you try to wake me up and I just go and I don't wake up.
Okay, then I wake up Vanya. And Zoe.
Okay, I'm awake.
Like a normal person instead of laying my head on a crusty pillow.
Big E eventually wakes up after you try like bugging him long enough, but he really puts up a fight. He's like, "No, Mama, I don't want to go to school anymore. The kids make fun of me."
I'm 30 years old. Don't make me go.
30, that's generous.
He eventually wakes up and he gets his little lizard and stuff, and I mean he goes, "Oh, Peppy, where are you?" No, and then he remembers, "Oh yeah, you're an owl now." And he's gonna let you guys know. He's gonna go, "Well, Erevan, did you see any more weird ghost armies outside, like what I saw last night?"
Nope. Only Peppy.
I'm sorry,
okay.
Ghost Army.
Yeah, there was like this big like an army of ghosts, and they were like just marching and stuff. But don't worry, they walked past us, so everything's good.
Didn't think to maybe wake any of us so we could make a group decision. You know what? Honestly, I don't care. I got sleep.
Oh yeah, I guess I could. Well, I didn't want to wake you guys up for no good reason. Yeah, they walked back the way we came, so I don't know. That's where we're going, right? Aren't we gonna we're leaving now? Now we're gonna go back through the gate that we came in. Are we going home or what's going on?
Well, yeah, I think we should try that. 'Cause I want to go home.
I mean, this place is pretty creepy. A house tried to eat me.
Yeah.
No, I say we go on. We head where we're going.
Okay.
I'm curious.
Well, that's probably not a bad idea to walk away from the ghost army, so I'm down for that. I guess, do you want to look around the city and maybe well, I don't know. I kind of feel like we don't know if there's another city or what's going on. Maybe we should go ahead and check into the inn and get a place set up for tonight, and then we can start looking around and stuff.
Sounds great.
Okay, good idea.
Okay, so we want to. I think you said we saw signs that looked like you can kind of head towards the middle of town. There's an inn or something like that.
I don't think you saw anything like that on the street, but presumably there would be some sort of an inn in a town, generally.
Yep. Yeah. So that's what we're gonna. So we're gonna leave here, pack up our stuff. I'm gonna go ahead and cast. Mage Armor. All
right.
Just because it's probably a good idea. So I am sitting. So that's a +3 from Mage Armor. So I'm sitting at 16 armor class with my cloak of protection.
Yep, 16 until you blade sing.
Yep.
So okay. Any other spells? I'm assuming you guys ate either during the night or in the morning. So I went ahead and marked off your rations.
Okay. Yeah. We ate.
Yep.
Plus Vladimir's rations.
I've got so many rations. Wait. Hold on. Oh, Vanya, do you want to cast Aid to give us all plus HP? You don't have to. You can wait if you want, but...
Yes.
Okay, so mark 1 level 2 slot, and what 3 people do you want to cast it on?
Hold on. Am I allowed to cast it on animals?
Please.
You are?
No.
Am I allowed to, though?
Yeah.
Yes.
I guess.
You can. Vladimir's probably not going to be in combat very much.
He might.
No. Why would I do Vladimir? I mean, he is my pet, but he doesn't do combat. Baggy, Hui, and Arky.
No, not Arky. Okay. I do appreciate
Hey,
that.
It increases his hit points. That's not a bad idea. He doesn't have very many hit points.
It does.
Baggy, and Zoe.
Well, okay. So let me just tell you, Arky has 1 hit point normally. So basically 1 hit and he dies. So if you give him Aid, then that will be plus 5. So then he will have 6 hit points.
He's got 3.
3?
I gave him max.
Wow.
I gave him max.
Okay. Oh, it's -1. Okay, so if you do Aid, then he'll have 8 hit points. That means he might be able to survive a hit. So if you want to do it, go ahead.
Okay.
Woohoo!
Okay, I'll do 8 for Arky, you, and Zoe.
Oh, okay, cool. So
Do I have to
Zoe...
roll for it?
No, it's just boom. It's just plus hit points. So Zoe, the way that Aid works, it's a max hit point buff. So it's totally like classic EverQuest situation. So your maximum hit points go up by 5. To remember that, you might want to do like plus 5 so that you don't forget and just.
Okay.
That'd be cool. Every time you cast Aid, like everyone just forgets, and it's like, how many hit points do you have? Oh, in the 70s.
Level 3 fighter, 24 HP. I can't remember if we have my.
You have 41 HP with 8, 36 without 8.
I had the wrong. Okay, yeah, I had it down wrong. Okay.
Yeah, you just needed another 12. D10 plus 2 for your dexterity, maybe. I mean, Constitution. So you're at 36. So the plus 5, now you're at 41. And here's the cool thing about Aid. It's not temporary hit points. It's your hit point maximum is actually increased. So you could still gain temporary hit points from something.
Yep, I've got all the HPs updated. You said Biggie, Zoe, and Arky, right, Vanya?
Yes.
Okay, I've got those all written down. So we've got Aid and Mage Armor casted. I've got the spell slots marked off. And you guys are free to move out. It's been about 45 minutes now since the rest ended. Sunlight is just barely starting to peek through the cracks in the door and the little holes in the roof and the cracks in the window.
Cool. So we're going to head out of the room, head out of this little house. I can lead the way for now.
Yeah, I'll just use your token on the map just to make it easier.
I've only got a +2 to perception, but I mean, other people.
Everyone's perceptions are kind of the same. You're kind of walking as a group, unless you're walking you have to walk in a specific order.
Oh god, I'm getting like Final Fantasy flashbacks. Like now we're in the town mode, you know. It's like da na na na. It's like music's playing on a little sprite is like doot, 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 doot. It's the same size sprite, even though the scale is drastically
tiny
changed.
in it.
I actually shrunk so it fits. I think these squares are like 20 feet wide or something. Something like that. The scale's pretty close. It's close enough.
Which way is Death House?
All right. So Death House is
'Cause I'm going the other direction.
believe it's one of these two. I think it's this one right here. So you guys have come. Let me just draw so you can see like your path. So you guys came into town here.
So he's giant. Look, so he's giant.
You came
Who's
into
the
town
McGee
here.
now?
These paths were blocked off by the mist. And you went over here where you met the children, and they got you into the house. I think it's actually this one. You went into the house, did